welcome to our webinar and interview chat with Rosie Frere, who is an holistic lifestyle coach and business coach who I've known for many years now. So I thought I'd get her along to chat about the essential oils that are a big part of her life and are becoming a bigger part of my life. I can't declare that I'm an expert on this yet, but I'm getting more interested in them every day. So essential oils have a role, I believe, in your medicine cabinet, in your cleaning products, and even in your beauty routine as well. And they have so many different uses, and they aren't some brand new thing that doesn't have any research behind it. They're actually a very ancient use of plant medicine, and to be able to take out the oils of the plant and to be able to use them for either medicine purposes or beauty purposes. So they're actually an old and tried and tested method, even if they're actually seen as quite alternative in this day and age. In previous years, in olden days, perhaps they would have actually been a big part of the practice. So that's how I see essential oils fitting into the medical and beauty world, is that it needs to be more of an integral part to have these natural products rather than us reaching for all the big labels that are full of chemicals, hormone disrupting chemicals, the toxic products that actually get into your system and can make us sick because we're just overloaded with them much more in this day and age than we perhaps were in the past. So that's why I believe they have a place in our homes. So I will introduce you straight away to Rosie so she can tell us more about her favorite products as well, and a little bit more about essential oils. So Rosie.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for having me, Sally.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here. So Rosie, tell us a little bit about what you do these days. I'm sure that wasn't a very thorough introduction. So just give us a little bio about what you're up to in the world and why essential oils.
Yeah, definitely. So I started off my entrepreneurial life, my business life, as a health coach, and I did that for a couple of years. And then I shifted more into business coaching at the time. So previously I had a stress management health coaching practice, and the clients that I was working with, basically they saw me, I had to quit my corporate job, and they saw me with this lovely freedom lifestyle and wanted to know how to do that. So I started doing more business coaching, and that turned into an online business school. And then at the end of last year, that really wasn't jiving with me anymore. I felt like I had done so much personal work, so much personal development. I'd been on a huge health journey of my own in the last sort of year or two as well. And I needed the next step, the next evolution of my own career. So I shut down that business school, and I have gone much more into, the only word I can really use to describe it is life coaching. I don't really like that term because it doesn't really say much, but it's essentially helping people to find themselves, come to an understanding of themselves that's not biased by other people. Along the way, there's been I'm a huge health fan for myself. I've done lots and lots of work on myself. I've had a few autoimmune diseases and various different stress related issues along the way. So I've been personally doing lots of different things for my health for many years. And when I was introduced to essential oils, which really wasn't that long ago, it was kind of the end of last year, really, that just added in really, really nicely to my own personal health journey and what I was doing. And so I've started talking about them more and sharing them more, because I found them incredibly, incredibly powerful. And I'm really, really happy to start sharing that with more people as well. So that's a little bit about me. I don't know if that answers your question. But,
Okay, perfect. So which perhaps, because there are so many essential oils, right? We could be here all day. So I know people out there are pretty busy. So we'll try and keep this quite succinct, quite to the point. On what are like your favorite oils? What have been the most beneficial for you, particularly for things like stress management? Because I know a lot of the people in my audience are often very busy, got a lot going on. They often have kids along as well, and they haven't got time for complex beauty products or things that need making, and they want to keep things really, really simple. And if we can integrate into their lives, then that's great, but we don't want it to be too complicated. So if you could perhaps start by just maybe telling us some of your favorite oils for stress management? That could be a good way
Yeah.
to start, yeah?
Definitely. So I think there's a couple of different components to stress and how we handle stress and how we work with stress within our lives. I know that often in our modern lifestyles, it's very difficult to remove stressors, the commute, the stressful job, the boss, whatever. But what we can do is try to alleviate the pressures on our body of stress. And I find that essential oils are really, really helpful for that. So there's a couple of different ways we can do this. The first thing I think is to look at, first of all, are there any ways we could try to alleviate stress? And it's not always possible, but I think you can start to add in a couple of little tiny routines every day just to help a little bit. So if I think about a few of my oils here, if I think about a really calming oil, one of those would be, you can see that lavender oil, which we all know the smell. It's really, really beautiful. It's very soft and sweet and extremely calming for the body. So as you can see what I just did there, I literally opened the bottle and inhaled. I could put that on my wrists, I could put that into my diffuser, but it's an extremely calming scent. And even giving myself 30 seconds just to breathe deeply and just breathe in that aroma, the extract of the plant, it's called a volatile compound, which essentially means that it's going into the air and making the smell. So being around any form of lavender essential oil, just breathing it in will calm your body down a lot. As I said, that could literally be 30 seconds. So if you could do that maybe a couple of times a day, or you could just keep a little bottle in your car or in your handbag, it's just a really easy way to just, lower stress when you're feeling tight or tense.
Yeah, and it's a good one. It's interesting you started with that one. That one is my new bedtime beauty product, and this is super simple. And it's funny how you discover things, but I'd run out of my favorite, very expensive nighttime lotion, and it's an oil. So I thought, okay, well, I have coconut oil and I have my lavender, and I literally just put probably about 4 drops in a little glass container, the ones that close at the top, mixed it all up, and it just feels as nice as the other one, which I won't, damn any big names out there, but it's actually one of the big names, but one of the more natural names. I'd been into the shop and quizzed them, because I tend to quiz everyone about everything, and I'd quiz them what was in the products, and she couldn't assure me that there was nothing that wasn't on, because when there's really small amounts of things that they don't actually put on the labels, or that, so she couldn't assure me that there wasn't. So I didn't know what was in it, and this is something that I sleep with every night, my skin, and with your skin being such a big organ, I wasn't completely confident with it, but I loved it. It was the best one I'd found. So this is my new nighttime beauty product, super cheap, 4 drops in coconut oil, fabulous. And it's so soothing at night. It feels lovely on the skin. So yes, that's my top lavender tip.
Yeah, definitely. And lavender, we were talking more about stress, but lavender is also extremely beneficial for skin. It's got a very soothing component on skin as well. So
absolutely. So no, it's a good one. Okay, so that's lavender. So any other good ones for kind of the mood around stress, whether that's lifting us up, calming us down? What are kind of any mood?
So if you think about stress and all the different things that does to you, so I think one of the ways that we can lift our mood, so for example, citrus oils are really, really beneficial. So I've got one here, which is, you can see that, lemon oil. And it smells like a really, really natural limoncello. Like limoncello smells a bit kind of metallic, but it's that really fresh, zingy smell, and it's from the rind of the lemon. So if you breathe that in, if you diffuse that, it's going to really uplift your mood. It has that really happy, fresh, zingy feeling. It's also extremely cleansing. So if you are getting very stressed, there's a lot of pressure on your body. So for example, ingesting a lemon oil, I take it in the morning with apple cider vinegar, and just instead of squeezing a whole lemon into my water, I just put a couple of drops of the lemon oil. So much quicker and easier. Doesn't, saves me having to clean up the knife and everything else. And also much cheaper than using organic lemons every day. So that's what I do. Just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, water, a little bit of Himalayan salt and lemon. Drink that down first thing in the morning. And the lemon will create a very detoxifying effect in the body. So it just helps to keep, toxins and things moving through the body, helps you flush out all the pollution and all the, if you're using normal cosmetic products as well, tons of toxins in there too. So anything, if you can imagine, we're both in Europe and France, lots of passive smoking going on around us. Anything that's kind of attacking our body will help just flush that out. But it also has that really nice, happy mood and happy smell. So there's plenty of different citrus oils. I also love grapefruit. I have that actually as an alcoholic drink. I have just sparkling water with a drop of grapefruit. It tastes amazing. And it's just another way of using the citrus oils as well.
Okay, that's a nice one. And another nice one is, while we're on the citrus, is the wild orange one. I really like as well. Yeah, you use that as well, if you've run out of oranges and you're doing a cake or something like that. So they do have cooking, certain oils, not all oils, but some oils can be digested as well, can't they? So with lemon we're good to digest, aren't we?
Yeah, we think about it in terms of any food which you would be able to eat anyway. Like you can eat lemons, so obviously you can take lemon oil. That's my rough way of figuring it out.
But, yeah, absolutely. And if in doubt, then it's quick to Google as well on the website, and it's a really clear sign of whether you can ingest them or not. So if in doubt, you check it out. Is kind of what I say. Okay. Exactly. So with the mood as well, another one I like to use is peppermint, kind of that uplifting type vibe around as well, particularly in the morning. Is peppermint one that you use particularly?
Yeah, definitely. I use it in my shower actually. So I just put a couple of drops when the steam is in the shower. I just kind of drop it around. And that beautiful fresh minty smell, it's really awakening. So I actually use it to wake up in the morning. It saves me, I can't have caffeinated coffee. So I use that as a kind of a natural wake up, which I think as well is really, really good if you are feeling stressed, you're maybe not sleeping well, you're not, you're waking up tired. Adding coffee to the mix can put a lot of pressure on your adrenals and things. So finding any way to feel awake without coffee, I think is really important.
Absolutely, because I know not a lot of my clients come and that is their drug of choice, right? Because they've had to manage on coffee for so long to get through that whole phase when their body's kind of trying to be telling them that they're tired, and they found coffee as the crutch to perk them up. So yeah.
Exactly.
We don't necessarily need to always eliminate coffee. I know my husband drinks coffee and he's fine with it, but for people who are completely stressed out and kind of verging on burnout, I think I agree. I think it's a kind of a no-no, and I know I don't get on with it well if I have much of it, but I'm fine with kind of 1 cup a day, that kind of amount. So yeah, it's great to have alternatives. Okay, so that's kind of the mood enhancers, and perhaps moving on to the ones that have kind of more of a spiritual element about them. Like frankincense is the obvious one. Do you use it in that way for meditation and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I have a lot of healthy habits, but meditation is the one that I often forget to do, or just maybe I have a bit of kind of mental resistance to it. But definitely frankincense is, it really smells like a spa. It's incredibly calming. It's another one that I use it at night with lavender actually, just to kind of calm down and ground. It's very woody. It's very, I'm trying to think of the right word to describe it. It's just incredibly grounding. When you smell it, you just sort of settle into your chair a little bit more. And this one is, in terms of meditation, and if you're do any yoga or any of those kind of more spiritual practices, a bit of frankincense on your third eye can really help to open things up, can help you to deepen into your meditation. You can diffuse it when you're meditating as well. I use it for calming purposes mostly, but it's another one which is fantastic to be taken internally. You might want to put it in a little veggie cap, in a little kind of open, kind of supplement capsule type thing, because it obviously tastes a bit woody, but it has incredibly powerful anti-inflammatory properties. So again, if you are stressed, if your body's on that kind of fight or flight mode all the time, it could just calm things down in the body. And there's been a few studies done in terms of its power on the brain. So if you ever want to check that out, you could go on PubMed and check that out. But it's helps with inflammation in the brain, and even has been researched in relation to brain tumors and things, because it can help regulate cells and bring them back into their normal state. So really, really powerful oil, great for health. It's a great kind of daily habit, just to take a drop of it every day to just regulate all the cells in the body.
Okay.
And again, it has this more spiritual element to it as well, if you want to diffuse it and smell it.
Totally, totally. And talking about inflammation as well, because it's great on the skin, isn't it? I think frankincense. So,
Yeah, also.
kind of if I put my physio hat on, and if I'm treating someone perhaps with pain and it's really stubborn pain, it's not disappearing, then putting a drop on, say, a hot flannel that you've wrung out, and then put that over the skin, so you've got the heat and the frankincense to like diffuse through the skin, can be a really nice thing for like really trigger points. Those kind of really hot inflammatory skin areas can be really good. And isn't it good for things like scars and varicose veins and things like that? I've heard as well. It's quite a skin reviver as well. As it's not something I necessarily specialize in, but I think it has that element to it as well, which is why they're amazing, aren't they? Because they have so many roles to them, you know. So yeah, frankincense is one of my favorites actually. And it's actually one of the kind of the oldest, like the frankincense, the gold, frankincense and myrrh, isn't it? I mean, these are so old as well, which is why I love them, because it's actually the older practices that, okay, they maybe didn't have the research so many years ago, but the research is starting to come through. And what you just said about the cancer research is fascinating, isn't it? If an oil can be that powerful to start to have these medicinal, traits to it, it's like, well, why are we using all these huge pharmaceutical companies? It just, I won't go on that path, but that's pet hate. Okay, so Rosie, any other favorites? They're kind of the main stress ones, would you say, that I would kind of group into that stress category? But perhaps kind of moving on to more the immune system, antibacterial, those kind of things as well, which is obviously a great health place, a great health bit to cover as well. Any favorites there?
Yeah, definitely. So I think as well, just it does sort of relate to stress as well, because if you are pushing your body, as you were saying, if your body's giving you those signals, but often in our lifestyles, we cannot just back off and sleep 12 hours a day, much as we would love to, it's just not going to work. So you are pushing your body really beyond its limits. So to try to give it as much support as possible, there's a couple of things that you can do with the oils. So one of them is to help really boost your immune function, and there's 2 oils that you can use for that. So the first one I would recommend is oregano, which I'll show you here, and you obviously know this as a herb. You put it on pizza. I mean, it smells, this one just smells like pizza. It makes me hungry every time I open it. And you can use it in cooking, so I use it in place of fresh herbs, for example, in my cooking. But the other thing that you can do with it is you can create a little roller bottle, or just add a couple of drops to some coconut oil, and if you just run that on the bottom of your feet, the reason that you do it on your feet is that you have a lot of, it's a very absorbent part of your body. That's why, reflexology and things are all using the feet. And when you roll the oil on there in a carrier oil, in your coconut oil, it helps it absorb into the bloodstream. So it goes into the bloodstream within really a couple of minutes. And it helps to, there's lots of antibacterial properties in oregano. It's actually a very strong oil, so I wouldn't put that directly on the skin without a carrier oil. You can even put it neat onto warts, and it can help really remove the warts. It's that powerful, that strong. So just be careful with that one. Don't start glugging it down, because it will burn you. But if you use it in the right way, it can really help to be very antibacterial, and to help, again, cleanse the body, help to remove any, nasties or bugs or things that are getting in there, and help support your immune system. And the other one which you can use is, this is actually a proprietary blend of the company that we use, doTERRA. It's called On Guard, and it's a blend of, I can tell you, wild orange, as we mentioned before, clove, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary. So if you open it and smell it, it smells really to me like Christmas. It smells kind of like Christmas cake, that kind of clovey, cinnamony. And again, you can roll that on the bottom of your feet. It acts as a lot of immune support for the body. It's very cleansing for the body. The other thing you can do is that you can also cook with it if you want to, if you're making some kind of a spicy cake or something. You can diffuse it. It actually cleans the air, and you can use it as a non-toxic house cleaning product in place of your kitchen sprays or whatever. So it's got loads and loads of different uses. The company that we use, doTERRA, actually has a whole range of products, ready-made kitchen sprays and things with this blend, because it's so powerful. It's actually as antibacterial as many of the, you know, the antibacterial products out there in the market, the mainstream ones. And so what this does is, number one, you know, cleans the place around you without adding toxins to your body, to your skin, or to the air around you, so you're not using nasty stuff in your house, but also helps to really support your immune system as well. So if you take either a drop under the tongue every day, or you roll it on your feet every day, that will just give your body that support that it needs to keep essentially fighting as you are going through your really hectic schedule.
Totally, love it. It's just incredible, isn't it, how powerful that they could be, really powerful. Whilst you were talking about the feet, it just came to me, I know we've already covered lavender, but perhaps for anyone who has kids, or even for us, but just rolling lavender can be helpful on like a baby's feet, for example, can't it, to help soothe sleep as well. So using those reflexology points can be a really brilliant way of getting them in if you don't necessarily want to ingest them. So yeah, that's a really helpful way to remember as well, that there are different ways of using the same oil, and just because it hasn't worked one way doesn't mean it won't work another way as well. It's trying out and experimenting, isn't it, of your favorite ways, I think, which makes it ever, you know, never ending, the potential of what we can do with them, which is why they're so interesting, fascinating. Okay, I don't want to bombard people, and that's kind of like 5 or 6 we've been through. I think somebody's just mentioned something. Oh, Julie, lavender on burns and cuts and insect bites. Find it soothing. That's interesting, Julie. Yeah, great. Any questions, ladies, before we close, so that we're not rambling on and taking up too much of your lunchtime? We don't want you not to eat over lunchtime. That's super important as well, of course. Because if there aren't any questions, we'll start to draw it to a close with the actual oils that we've mentioned there, so we're not overwhelming, I think would be, you know, enough is enough as such. Any others that you wanted to finish off with, Rosie, that you've got a burning desire to share that we absolutely must mention, or does that cover the main ones for you? If we missed any kind of, I know, as I say, we could be here all day talking about oils, but just...
Yeah, I mean, I could just start and go on forever. I've got probably 100 in my kit, but I've just seen a question come through here from Julie, who said, if you use oils in cooking, how do you judge how much to use? And I would say be very, very sparing. So I don't know the exact number of, you know, comparison for every single oil, but I do know for peppermint oil, for example, 1 drop of peppermint oil has the same amount as 25 cups of peppermint tea. So if you think about that, that tiny drop has all the flavor of 25 cups of peppermint tea. So you want to be really, really sparing with it. With my oregano, I might add, if I'm making dinner for 2 people, I might add 1 to 2 drops maximum. I made the mistake once of just dropping it on my food. The first time I used it, and I probably put 10 drops on my pasta dish, and it was completely inedible because it's just too strong. So be very, very sparing, 1 to 2 drops. The kind of maximum ingestion amount per day that they recommend is 24 drops a day of everything. So you're not glugging them down. You know, if you have maybe 1 drop of lemon, a couple of drops of you know, 1 drop of oregano here and there, you're maybe taking like 4 or 5 a day. That's probably your maximum that I would, you know, as long as it's not going beyond the 24, then it's absolutely fine. But that kind of range is very, very easy to use. One thing which I think is really important to mention just before we leave, not necessarily talking about extra oils, but about the quality of the oils that you do choose.
Yes.
Yep, it's you know, you can obviously find oils in many different places, in the supermarket even nowadays, but it's really important because they really are plant medicine. So it's a little bit like if you went and bought, I don't know, like something that was meant to be ibuprofen from a non-reputed, you know, reputed ibuprofen manufacturer. You don't know what's in it. And a lot of them have fillers, a lot of them have synthetic things, and you're not getting the pure potency of the plant. And the other thing is you want to make sure that because you're using really the botanical power of the plant, it's the extract, the essence of the plant. That's where the word name essential oil comes from. You want to make sure that the plant, first of all, was as healthy as possible, and it was as vibrant as possible. And the way that you do that is to know where they are sourced from. So you want the plant to have been sourced in its natural habitat. If it's being, you know, grown in greenhouses, or, you know, in a strange place that's not meant to be in, if it's in, you know, America and it should be in, you know, Southern Europe, it's not going to grow properly. And so you want to make sure that they're sourced in the right places. And that's really, for me, that's why I only really work with the doTERRA oils, because I know where they're sourced. They have a whole website. You can actually check on the bottom of your bottle. There's a little number there, and you can check every single bottle, where it was sourced, what happened, the checks that were done to it. They have a triple checking process. So I really can rest easy knowing. It also, you know, there's 250 or so drops in a bottle, and it's all 100% oil. There's no fillers or synthetic stuff in there as well. So that's, for me, really important to know that.
Really important. No, quality is super important, isn't it? And not all oils are equal. And
yeah.
particularly if you're going to be testing them as well, you need to be super clear that you know what's in it. So no, absolutely, I'm with you on that. And doTERRA, I've used doTERRA for like 3 or 4 years. I'm only just getting it more into it, as I say, at the moment. But so far, I've been super happy with what I find, with everything from their customer service to just they're in massive growth and developing more oils. It seems like every week, like a new one comes out, a new blend, not a new oil as such, but they're great at putting blends together to make it user friendly. So people haven't got to think, well, if I put lavender with frankincense and then add this, that's going, you know, they've already done it for you, which is what I love. So I'm just getting to the point where I'm ordering like the emotional essential oils, where they have the combinations put together. But just to keep it simple for today, I think starting with the single ones is the best way.
Yeah, just to give them.
Yeah, but just that there is then a place to go with them afterwards, that as you start to kind of find what it is that works for you, really, isn't it? Is I think the main thing is knowing what works for you, but also what works for whether it's your family as well. If you've got kids, they can be great to add in to just their, I think it's their way of thinking. I won't spend ages on kids, but I know from, for example, my daughter who's getting in, you know, she's 12 and she's getting into products, and it's like all the big brands with the amazing marketing are the ones that she's going towards, and to just offer another solution to something, and for her to feel empowered that if she's got a sore knee, she knows what to put on it. She doesn't need to take an anti-inflammatory or paracetamol. She's just got a different reflex from an early age of how to look after her body and to feel empowered with it. I think it's really, really important, isn't it? That's kind of why I love to just have an extra tool in the house that's super usable for the entire family. Is yeah, I feel like it's magic, as opposed to always having to go to that medicine cupboard, you know, just to have it, something else there is great.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah, go on, you're about to say something, Rosie.
No, I was just going to say, I really see them as a way to promote wellness. So I think of it more as having daily habits with them that support your body, as opposed to pushing your body into disease and then needing to go for whatever it might be, the chemotherapy or the surgery, or because there's a place for mainstream medicine, of course, but I feel like we don't take the steps to just protect our health in the first place. And that's really where I feel that essential oils come into the fore.
No, absolutely. No, my heart is in preventative medicine, and but sadly, by the time we see a lot of patients, if I've got my clinical physio head on, by the time we see them, they've gone a little bit too far, and it's quite hard to pull back from the pain without taking the anti-inflammatories and the painkillers and everything else they need to do to sleep. So yeah, prevention is so much easier and quicker than the cure, isn't it? I totally agree, and I know that you went through a burnout phase as well, so I think, you know, burnout twins there as well. So yeah. It's not easy to then come back from that place. If we can just put in a little bit of maintenance as we go along, it makes life a lot easier, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Brilliant. Okay, Rosie, thanks so much for joining us. It's been really, really great to spend some time with you. Rosie is part of my team. She's my team leader. So doTERRA works by teams. For anyone that did want to go further into the company, that is a possibility as well. But for anybody who just wants to purchase the oils, you know, feel which oil is best for them, then certainly for you two ladies who are on the call, I'd be delighted to offer you just a free wellness chat. That's totally free of charge. And for anyone catching the replay, if you have any questions about essential oils after you've watched it, then don't hesitate to reach out to find out more. We'll be sharing more as we go along, and either just helping to introduce it to your home, or if you are any wellness practitioners, mums who want a new wellness business venture, that is a possibility as well. So we want to get these products into people's homes so that we help heal the world is in you know, our bigger aim perhaps, but just to gradually, it's one home at a time. It's just gradually to help everyone out there feel empowered about their health. So don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah, it's part of a fabulous team. If you did want to join us at all as more of a business venture, that's definitely a possibility. So if there are no more questions, then we will close up there, ladies. And thank you so much again, Rosie, for joining us. It's been lovely to have your insights and to share with everyone all about essential oils. So ladies, thanks for joining us as well, and have a great rest of the day.